The United Nations Founding Charter, Article 53. Not many people will have heard of that, but let's have a quick history lesson. During the Second World War there were two sides, the Axis and the Allies. The Axis were predominantly made up of Germany and Japan, the Allies, France, Britain, Russia, America and China. Now during the Second World War there was approximately 80 to 100 million people killed by the Axis powers. Russia lost 27 million troops and 15 million civilians at the hands of the Nazis. After the war, the United Nations were created, 1945, which was an agreement by every country on the planet to make sure that the Second World War couldn't and wouldn't happen again. Now, part of that founding charter was something called Article 53. The United Nations Founding Charter, 1945, Chapter 10, Article 53. Beginning to sound like Carly now. And Article 53 states, the Security Council shall, where appropriate, utilise such regional arrangements or agencies for enforcement actions under its authority. But no enforcement action shall be taken under regional arrangements or by regional agencies without the authorisation of the Security Council, with the exception of measures against any enemy state, as defined in paragraph 2 of this article, provided for pursuant to Article 107, or in regional arrangements directed against renewal of aggressive policy on the part of any such state, until such time as the organisation may, on request of the government concerned, be charged with the responsibility for preventing further aggression by such a state. Paragraph 2. The term enemy state, as used in paragraph 1 of this article, applies to any state which, during the Second World War, has been an enemy of any signatory of the present Charter. But what does that all mean in English? Well, an enemy state is somebody that during the Second World War attacked a country that signed up to the United Nations. Basically there were only two, Japan and Germany. So under the United Nations Founding Charter, even going through to today, two countries who are classed, the only two countries who are classed as enemy states of the United Nations are Germany and Japan. So we'll just put that to one side for a second and go through to today, or 2014 precisely. 2014, Germany, the enemy state of the United Nations, decided to start arming, funding, training Ukrainian Nazis to attack Russia. I'm going to make another video about this, about this whole attacking thing. But 2014, the Ukrainian Polish Nazi Banderas, their goal was to attack Russia, bring down Putin, install a Zelensky type figure, and basically rape, rob and pillage Russia and destroy Russian Orthodox Christianity. That's the Ukrainians' plan, but fully supported by Germany. So who's in charge of Germany? Joseph Merz. Now Joseph Merz came to power in 2025 in May, after what can only be described as a questionable election. Very questionable. Merz is the grandson of Joseph Paul Savigny. Joseph Paul Savigny was one of Hitler's Nazi SS. So we have a direct blood descendant of one of Hitler's Nazi SS officers now running the enemy state, Germany. Okay, this is sounding like history repeating itself. So, Germany today. What is Germany's goals as regards every United Nations country, especially Russia? Germany wants to build its army to being the biggest army in Europe. Well, that's pretty scary. Germany, rearming, wanting the biggest army in Germany. Haven't we been there somewhere before? Germany has also declared publicly that it wants to go to war with Russia sometime in the next 2 to 3 years. This is the enemy state of the United Nations declaring war against a country that is a signatory of the United Nations, and under Article 53, Russia has every right to now consider Germany as its enemy. So let's have a quick look at Germany's history. We have Germany's Nazis that killed tens of millions of people. We have Germany's Chancellor, who today is a blood relative of the Nazis. Germany wants to declare war on Russia. Germany wants to build an army to be the biggest one in Europe. Both Russia and China both say, we forgive, we will never forget. When you've lost tens of millions of people to an enemy state of the United Nations, Japan and Germany, and now Japan and Germany are mouthing off about how they now want to attack China and Russia. Only last week, China gave Japan a copy of Article 53, reminding Japan, who are a fraction of the size of China, that if it carries on mouthing off, if it has any war desires against China, China will wipe Japan off the face of the earth. Same again today. Germany has declared it wants to go to war with Russia. Germany is rearming. Germany is arming, funding, training Nazis in the Ukraine and using German military weapons against Russia today. If Germany isn't careful, Russia today has almost a legal responsibility to the world to wipe Germany off the face of the planet. And there's nothing that anyone could do to stop them. And every single country that signed up to the United Nations would be obliged to support Russia in its actions of wiping Germany off the face of the earth. Now, I know if you listen to every EU leader, they will all tell you that Russia wants to invade Europe. No, it doesn't. Russia does not want to invade Europe. Europe doesn't have anything that Russia could possibly want or use. The only thing that Russia sees Europe as is a customer. And if they don't want to buy Russia's cheap gas, cool. Russia will sell it to China or India, and Europe will go cold. So just in conclusion to this, Article 53 of the United Nations states Russia has a moral and legal obligation now to completely wipe Germany off the face of the earth. And that's what it will happen if Merz continues down the road that he's going.